The Master's Mysteries, Tales of Magical Mastery, Episode 50. Wow, it's so delicious. Liao Fengyi and Qiudi not only rescued the captured villagers, but also helped Zhang Laohan's unconscious old companion out of danger. Zhang's elderly couple couldn't repay enough, so the next day they prepared a table full of dishes for the two. Grandma's cooking skills were truly impressive. She made wild delicacies with the most authentic and delicious flavors. Uncle, Aunt, why don't you join us for the meal? You've eaten everything. There's nothing left for us. The three of them stared at Liao Fengyi, who had swept the table clean, and the 7 or 8 bowls of rice. Liao Fengyi also noticed the awkward atmosphere and scratched his head embarrassedly. At this moment, suddenly, a dark shadow rushed in from the door. After the shadow passed, the mountain chicken leg in Liao Fengyi's hand disappeared into thin air. Liao Fengyi didn't need to think to know that it must be Ahu, who hadn't shown up for a long time. As expected, he saw Ahu holding the chicken leg and happily gnawing on it in the corner. Come on, tell us where you were last night. Speaking of Ahu, he tried to secretly follow Wang Yuan last night, hoping to learn more about the ways of animal cultivation. Unexpectedly, he was spotted halfway, and it was a close call for him to come back. So you've been pretending all along. You're also offering incense to the immortals. This was the first time Xiaodi met Ahu, so she thought Liao Fengyi was also a member of the immortal world, and asked about it. What immortal world? Ahu is my friend. Liao Fengyi, seeing Qiudi's misunderstanding, hurriedly explained his relationship with Ahu, which surprised Xiaodi. In the Northeast, all practitioners will offer incense to these animal spirits as immortals. There are not many people like Liao Fengyi who befriend them. Qiudi's gaze made Ahu feel a bit uneasy. Of course, Ahu is very clever. This gray immortal has already opened his celestial wisdom. Qiudi could tell that Ahu was not just clever. According to Northeast traditions, he had already become an immortal. Since your relationship is good, then you can go and establish a shrine for him. But haven't you done it yet, Ahu? Qiudi's proposal intrigued both Liao Fengyi and Ahu. After all, they came to Liaodong this time to learn more about these matters. I have no fixed abode, so I can't establish a shrine anywhere. Yeah, you're a penniless guy. That's indeed a problem. However, when they heard Qiudi say that they needed to build a shrine, Liao Fengyi couldn't help feeling discouraged. It turns out that offering incense is not a simple matter. That's different. You can establish an incense-burning covenant, and you can communicate through divine awareness. According to tradition, one must have a Buddhist hall with corresponding immortal tablets and images to allow the immortals to reside. And it can help accumulate yin virtue for the immortals and aid in their cultivation. Also, the practitioner needs to offer incense, healing the sick and aiding the afflicted on behalf of the immortals, thus accumulating yin virtue and allowing the immortals' cultivation to progress. Divine awareness communication and accumulating yin virtue. After offering incense, you can communicate with the immortals through divine awareness. This aspect made Liao Fengyi and Ahu very excited. They envied how Qiudi interacted with the tiger immortal in the mountain god temple. Let me think if there's any other way. I'll also help you. This poor kid, think of something. Though it's appealing, these requirements are indeed quite challenging for Liao Fengyi. I've tidied up the room. Rest early. But remember, it's up to us to make things happen. We'll take it one step at a time. Auntie, how come? Is something wrong? Don't you have only one room? Are you a couple? After an awkward joke, the two rested at Zhang Laohan's house for a day before saying goodbye. As they hurriedly left, Zhang Laohan and his wife couldn't help wiping away tears. You've misunderstood. No, we are not. Oh, this is really embarrassing. Who told you to push so hard? Ouch, it hurts. Don't be so forceful. But they didn't go far. Instead, they'd return to the mountain god temple outside the village. Relax a bit. You're as stiff as a rock. The needle is about to break. Liao Fengyi had been pondering over Xiaodi's suggestion of offering incense. After some thought, he came up with an idea he didn't expect. Will this work? The method he came up with caught Xiaodi's attention. Maybe it could work, but since it was the first time, they were both a little worried. This is the spirit child pattern of our Maotian sect. It can serve as a vessel for the soul. I used runes to make the altar. Liao Fengyi's idea was simple. Instead of using the traditional tablets and images, he would use the spirit child pattern from the 12 zodiac patterns passed down by his master. Shouldn't that be fine? Moreover, he's skilled in talismans and formations, so he filled the spirit child pattern with runes, creating a temple formation. This way, he could carry the shrine on his person. What should we do next? I'll help you establish the connection. Now that they had set up the shrine on his body, the next step was to establish the connection. According to Xiaodi, establishing the connection meant creating a passage in Liao Fengyi's divine awareness, allowing Ahu's immortal entity to come and go and communicate with him. This is shamanic secret technique, so it should be more convenient. For an ordinary person, this process would be torturous. But Xiaodi said she would use shamanic secret technique to make it less painful for Liao Fengyi. It will hurt a bit at first, but you'll get used to it. Could a grown man be afraid of pain? This would be too embarrassing in front of a girl. So Liao Fengyi gritted his teeth and gently closed his eyes. Xiaodi used a long silver needle to pierce more than 3 inches directly into Liao Fengyi's forehead. In an instant, Liao Fengyi felt as if there was a barrier in his mind that had been pierced through. Endure it. It won't last long. Ah, it hurts. It's unbearable. Then you and Ahu will chant the divine mantra together. Thankfully, Xiaodi had repeatedly emphasized this before. Liao Fengyi had mentally prepared himself. He patted his head forcefully and endured it. The divine mantra will link your minds with Ahu's. It's also the way you will call for Ahu's divine awareness in the future. Liao Fengyi had heard Xiaodi sing the divine mantra before, and it sounded beautiful. But Xiaodi also said that as long as he sincerely meditated on it silently, it would have the same effect. Chant along with me. What else could be said? Liao Fengyi and Ahu lined up, led by Xiaodi. They silently chanted along. In the northwest corner, Qian represents heaven. A golden light shines upon the mortal realm. In the northeast corner, the upper level represents mountains. Life and death exist between yin and yang. In the north, Kun represents earth. Boundless water flows. A spiritual talisman calls upon the immortals. Yin and yang and the 5 elements revolve freely. The immortals are connected to my fate. After finishing the divine mantra, Liao Fengyi suddenly felt an icy and bone-chilling wind rushing into the passage in his mind. Then, the entire world plunged into darkness. Suddenly, a light emerged from the darkness behind him, as if something was approaching. So Liao Fengyi quickly turned around to see. Hey, Fengyi. Upon looking, he saw a spirited young man behind him. The moment he saw Liao Fengyi, he was particularly enthusiastic, and Liao Fengyi felt a strong sense of familiarity. You're Ahu. Yes. Liao Fengyi quickly realized that this must be Ahu's immortal entity, as Xiaodi had mentioned. You look just like I imagined. Of course, our minds are connected. Liao Fengyi and Ahu had known each other for more than a decade, but now they could actually communicate on a deeper level. This was truly amazing. I remember this as the dried well where we first met. Well, that was my cave dwelling. So you've opened your divine awareness. Sit down. Let's talk. Stop flattering. Don't be shy. Why don't you look more like me? For the first time, they used divine awareness to communicate, and they seemed to be unable to stop chatting. They felt there was so much to talk about. This guy. But this made Xiaodi a bit impatient. Calling won't work at this point. Xiaodi made a hand seal and tapped Liao Fengyi's spiritual bone, forcefully waking him up. Upon waking up, he experienced another intense headache. Liao Fengyi noticed that Hu's spirit seemed a bit listless. "You idiot! You can't stay in the divine awareness for too long during your first time. It's tough on both you and Hu's soul." "Oh, I understand now." After Xiaodi explained, Liao Fengyi realized that entering divine awareness was like a shared soul between them. Initially, it could be harsh on both parties and required gradual adaptation and cultivation. I'm sorry." It seemed that entering divine awareness was not as simple as breaking through a thin layer of paper. There was so much more for Liao Fengyi and Hu to explore and learn. "In the future, I'll accumulate more yin virtue for you and seek some spiritual treasures to aid your cultivation." Having just established the covenant, Liao Fengyi and Hu were both excited. "Xiaodi, thank you so much. Hey, where are you going next?" It felt like they had just opened the door to a new world, and there was so much waiting for them to explore. I haven't decided yet." "Then, how about coming with me for now?"